attempt to insist on mandatory real-time electronic transmission without caveat. Ogun State government has cleared pension and gratuity arrears owed to retirees between 2012 and 2020, reaffirming its commitment to the welfare of former workers. The announcement came during a media rally organized by Ogun State Ministry of Budget and Planning. Yusuf Gani report.
Explaining the backlog, the State Commissioner for Finance, Dr. Okubadejo, said it was linked to the defined benefit scheme under which retirees receive monthly pensions. He stressed that since Governor Dr. Abiodun assumed office, the administration has not defaulted on pension obligations. Annual pension payments have risen sharply from 6.7 billion naira in 2019 to 20 billion naira in 2025, with projections showing a possible increase to 40 billion naira by 2029.
And the CPS monthly remittances have been made repeatedly on a monthly basis from July 2025 to date, without missing 1 month. In addition to that, His Excellency has approved additional make the CPS to be much more, that the CPS was lower than the defined benefit scheme. But with the introduction of the annual additional pension benefits, that gap has closed.
The Commissioner disclosed that 23.3 billion naira has been paid in gratuities covering retirees from 2012 to 2020. In addition, 32.8 billion naira in outstanding gratuities for local government retirees inherited by the administration has also been settled.
Ogun State will now stand to benefit from the full implementation of CPS, the Contributory Pension Scheme, which has a lot of advantages that even the employees will benefit from, including access to low-cost mortgage financing. But before we were not implementing CPS before, employees were denied that benefit. Of course, in addition to that, the opportunity for longer-term, low-cost financing is also available. And so the way we've structured the pension obligations, by also taking care of all the outstanding accruals we've paid from 2012 to 2020, the outstanding obligations of gratuity under the DBS, we've paid that. And so we only have just about 5 years to pay. So from 2012 to 2019, 7 years of the previous administration, the administration of Governor Abiodun has paid all the outstanding gratuities from that time. And with the introduction of the APB, we're very certain that we've put in place a sustainable source of funding for the pensions.
Also speaking at the event, the Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Olaolu Olabimton, said the 2026 budget reflects strong physical reforms, highlighting an 85% budget execution rate in 2024 and sustained financial stability.
Based on our development focus, we have 63% proposed as capital expenditure, as against the 57% in 2025. So the idea is to spend more on capital investments than we spend on recurrent expenditure.
Other commissioners showcased sectoral achievements, including major road construction, increased healthcare funding, rural expansion plans, education support programs, and expanded housing projects across the states. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV News.
The Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission, OGTV, will conduct a by-election on Saturday, February 21, 2026, to fill the vacant councillorship position in Ohumbe Ward, Yewa North local government area of the state. In a statement by the chairman of Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission, Babatunde Oshibodu, voting exercise will commence from 8 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon, and there will be a restriction on vehicular movement within the ward throughout this period. Residents are advised to adhere strictly to the guidelines governing the election. Security agents will be deployed to maintain law and order and ensure a peaceful exercise. Nigeria Exports Promotion Council has applauded Ogun State government for creating an enabling environment which led to the increase in the non-oil export from the state, totaling $500 million. The governor of the state, Prince Dapo Abiodun, at the official closing of the 10-day Gateway International Trade Fair in Abeokuta, said his administration deliberately tailored its Ishaya mantra towards productivity and economic growth. Fowora Adison will report.
A 10-day of unparalleled opportunity, networking, business interaction, buying and selling, and technical exposure offered by the 15th Gateway Trade Fair in Abeokuta. President Ogun State Chambers of Commerce, Mines and Agriculture, Ogunsima, Rafiu Olugbemini Yoshiyemi, said Ogun State government under Prince Dapo Abiodun has pushed commerce and economic growth with its economic reforms, which encourage economic development and growth, as well as avenue for easy way of doing business.
I encourage all participants to nurture the connections formed there and translate them into sustainable business ventures that will create jobs and prosperity for our society. President
Oduasima Wasiu Olaleye also praised the Ogun State government for placing high premium on the Gateway Trade Fair for the 6th time running, placing Ogun State above all in industrial growth, job creation, and social security. The coordinator of the Nigerian Exports Promotion Council, Jumoke Abolade, said Ogun State has improved on its non-oil earnings.
The year 2025, the state was able to hit that $500 US mark. Millions of $500 million in non-oil export.
Speaking at the occasion, Commissioner for Industry, Trade and Investment, Adibola Shofela, said the governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, insisted that political will has to be given to the Gateway Trade Fair for growth and sustenance.
Over the past 2 days, the trade fair complex has come alive with productive exchanges, business networking, product exhibitions, and investment discussions that will undoubtedly translate into economic opportunities and job creation.
The State Deputy Governor, Engineer Noimo Salakoidele, who represented the governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, at the closing ceremony of the 15th Gateway Trade Fair in Abeokuta, said the fair has demonstrated possibilities achievable when enterprise meets vision.
To our investors and the business community, let me assure you, policy consistency, regulatory transparency, infrastructure expansion, and investment protection remain central to our governance philosophy.
Prince Dapo Abiodun said the growth of the economy, industries, and enterprises, job opportunities in the state was through deliberate plan to boost trade using annual Gateway Trade Fair as a catalyst. Some of the participating companies, including Dangote, Nigeria Breweries, Obasanjo Holdings, and Mekano, got certificates of participation, high performance, and support. Adefowura Adesonwo, OGTV News.
A fatal road traffic crash on Tuesday has claimed 6 lives and left 3 others injured at the Ota toll gate along Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway in Aduodo local government area of Ogun State. According to a press statement signed by the Commander, Ota Divisional Command of the Ogun State Traffic Compliance and Enforcement Agency, Chase, the incident, which occurred at about 9:32 in the morning on February 17, 2026, involved a marked tanker truck, a Suzuki minibus, and a TVS tricycle. According to him, Trace operatives arrived at the scene at about 9:40 in the morning, 8 minutes after the crash was reported, and rescue operations were carried out in collaboration with the Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC), the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC), and the Nigeria Police Force. A total of 10 persons were affected in the crash. 3 victims, 2 males and 1 female, sustained varying degrees of injuries. and were rushed to the state hospital for treatment. 6 persons, comprising 5 males and 1 female, were confirmed dead, and their bodies deposited at the state morgue in Ifo. The driver of the truck reportedly fled the scene. The crash initially caused traffic disruption along the busy expressway, but the swift intervention of trace officials and other emergency responders ensured that normal traffic flow was restored. All vehicles involved in the accident were evacuated from the road and moved to the police custody. The commandant urged motorists to avoid excessive speeding, warning that adding that normalcy has been since returned at the scene, with the road now cleared and free for vehicular movement. Moving to the foreign scene, Thailand continues to occupy parts of Cambodia after multiple ceasefire agreements ended months of deadly fighting late last year. Cambodia's Prime Minister has said Thailand did not immediately respond to the claims. Thai military officials had previously said operations were limited to reclaiming areas within Thai territory. Thai troops placed shipping containers and barbed wire inside areas that Thailand had previously recognized as Cambodian territory, he said, rendering about 80,000 people unable to return home. The alleged encroachment occurred after Cambodia and Thailand's protracted border conflict last year killed dozens and displaced hundreds of thousands of people, fueled nationalistic rhetoric, and destroyed ancient temple sites. And finally, on sports, Real Madrid's Champions League knockouts phase playoff tie at Benfica was halted for 10 minutes after Vinicius Jr. reportedly alleged racist abuse, and he and his teammates left the field. Referee Francois Letizia made the crossed arms gesture to signal racist abuse following a conversion with Vinicius. The Brazil forward had put the Spanish visitors 1-0 up in the second half at the Estadio da Luz before being booked for an excessive celebration. Following an interaction with Benfica's Gianluca Prestiani, Vinicius ran over to referee Letizia while gesturing towards the opposition player. A Real Madrid statement said Vinicius told the referee he had been racially abused by the Argentina winger. Vinicius then walked off the pitch and was followed by his Real Madrid teammate, but play restarted 10 minutes later in the 60 minutes. And just before we go, let us remind you that by being yourself, you put something wonderful